Hi there! So today I'm going to share something super important with the whole world. My coming out story. But I do want to let you know that I have 3 dogs and 1 cat, and although I love them very much, they are nuts. So I do have to cut this a few times, just because I'll probably have to take turns. They're all one's on timeout right now. The struggle is real, and Mama's mad. Okay, Professor Perlin, no. She's back. No. We're going nuts again. This is so hard. This is so hard. This is so hard. This is so hard. This is gonna happen. Whew. Let's go. Back to business. So let's get started. It's so strange because when you speak about your coming out story, you remember it. You remember things so vividly. I remember when I came out to everybody I came out to so vividly, like it was a week ago. Where do I begin? It's so hard. Let's give you some background. I knew that I liked girls when I was about 10, 11, or 12. I remember I kissed a girl and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to do it again, please. She was the cool girl that oh yeah, it's so cool that I'm teaching you how to kiss. Between 11 to 14, 15, there literally was a nothing. In my household, the word gay never came up. So I swear to you, I had no idea what the word gay meant. I didn't know what gay was. I had no idea. I was so sheltered when I grew up. I remember being in high school and I remember seeing 2 guys holding hands. I didn't even think anything of it. I didn't know what it even was. Growing up in a house where that wasn't explained to you, you don't know what to do with your feelings. You just kind of put them away. All that time, from 11 to 14, 15, it was unheard of. It was until junior year I was in the locker room. Every lesbian has a locker room story. In the locker room, and I saw the girls undressing, and I was like, whoa, I cannot look. Between 17 to 20, I dated guys. It felt like it was what you were supposed to do. And the thing in my family is I'm a quarter Mexican, a quarter white, and half Salvadorian. So I grew up in a really Latin household. I was raised by my grandmother, and my grandmother is Mexican. She's Mexican of Mexican. In that household, we listened to a lot of Julio Iglesias. We listened to a lot of Chayanne, Emmanuel, Thalia. Oh my God, I was listening to Thalia. Anyways, super Mexican household. I was in the kitchen cooking, helping my grandma cook. I learned how to cook at a really young age. They obviously have these ideas of who I should be dating and who I'm going to end up with. I was a woman in a Mexican household, so they had these huge plans for me that I was going to live out for them. I was going to marry this I was marrying a blonde man who was athletic and had a college education. That was my future. I remember my aunts coming over and my mom being there, and they would talk about how I had to find a boyfriend. He was going to be blonde and white and blue eyes and Matt Damon and all those people that they were attracted to, those men. It started to almost program me. It's weird. I wish I could understand the real psychology of it. I remember I would hear it every day. So of course when I saw Jonathan Taylor Thomas, yes, on TV, to be and my mom was next to me, be oh, he's so cute. So I remember being programmed. First, I guess, God, this is getting personal. Oh well, let's keep this real. Let's get personal. When I first had sex with a man, he totally fit in that category. I remember at that point, I remember before it actually happening, hours before he came over. I remember that I told myself, I think I'm gay. Why am I doing this? It was important for me. It was important for me to do this, to really know. That's how much I kept programming myself to believe that perhaps I'm not gay. In that household, of course, in Mexican households, when they are raising a young girl, they shelter them. They're super protective. So my brother had a bunch of different, he had so much freedom. He could leave the house, and I had to make sure his laundry was washed, his food was ready, stuff like that. It was annoying, but I was in my house and they were the ones raising me, so I had to do what they said. I hated it, but I had to do it. I dated a guy, and I remember telling myself, I knew eventually sex was going to happen with this guy. I knew that I can't even talk about it, it's so weird, but I will. I have to. This is a real channel. When the moment was about to happen, when we were going to have sex. Just say it, Grace. Have sex. I remember thinking like hours before, I'm gay. Like I remember telling myself, because before that moment, I had like the thought of like I'm gay, but then I would like put it away. Like, and I remember being in that bathroom and telling myself like, why are you doing this? You're gay. Like, why are you doing this? But I was in too deep already, and I was like, I need to prove to myself, like, you know, I can do this. So I did it, and I was still gay. I was still gay. I remember like he left, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror. I felt so ashamed. Why did I do that? But I did, and it was like I looked at myself in the face, and like I promised myself that I had to deal with my feelings. Like, you're gay. Like, you are gay. You are the gayest they come. I was like 21, and I was coming out. I'm telling someone, because I had not told anybody. My first coming out was at 21, and I told my cousin that I was gay. I remember telling him. I was comfortable telling him. I just felt safe. I felt like he wouldn't judge me. So I told my cousin, I think I'm bisexual, because I couldn't even say gay. I said bisexual. He said, no, you're not. You don't know what you're saying. You're not. And then that's it. That's the conversation. We walked away and we changed the subject. So that was my first feeling of, oh my God, you know, maybe I shouldn't be coming out to anybody. A few months later, 4 or 5 months later, I said, okay, I'm going to come out to my sister and I'm going to come out to my brother. I came out to my sister. We went to Costco. We went to Costco food court, and we sat down, and I told her, I said, I want to tell you something, I'm gay. And she said, the best thing, she said, I know you are. Like, I know you are. Almost like, you don't need to tell me, I already knew. We started laughing, and that was it. Oh my God, that was so easy. Literally took like 4 seconds. So easy. Then I went home, told my brother. I told him, I said, I'm gay. And he's like, I already know this, Grace. Like, Grace, I know this already. Sort of like, they both were like the same response. Like, they both were like, we already know. You don't need to tell us. That was easy. So I already told my cousin, I already told my brother, I already told my sister. It's time to get to the big dogs. I had to tell my mom. I had to tell my grandma. I told my grandma first. I remember I was so scared, because this is my grandma. She's like probably like the only adult figure in my life that I have to like really look up to. She's who raised me. She's like the strongest. She's so strong. She's so strong. And she's so important to me. So it was really scary. In my head I thought either she's gonna take it really well and she's gonna be totally fine with it, or she's gonna take it really bad. It was like, there was no gray area with her. So it was just her and me in the guest house. And I told her, she was sitting down at the kitchen table, and I went up to the table, and I think I was sitting down, but I think I like leaned in really close. I made it even more personal. And I told her in Spanish, and I said to her, like, you know, I'm gay, abuelita. Me gustan las mujeres, which means I like women. I'm gay. And it was very like me, because I just like spit it out. Like, I just spit it out. And she paused. Like, it was a silence. It was like a 10-second silence, and I was like holding on to hope. Please don't react so extremely. Please don't yell, like, in my head. And she said, "Está bien? That's fine." She said, "That's fine." She said, "That's fine, but this isn't something to tell other people." That's what she said. It was weird, because I thought, okay, is she saying she thinks it's fine, but she doesn't want other people to know? That's what I thought. And then she said to me, I don't know if she thought that was harsh, so she said to me, I'm going to love you no matter what. You're always going to be my granddaughter. I love you no matter what. But I'm afraid of what this is going to do. And she said again, this isn't something to tell everybody, but whatever you are, I love you. So it was like a weird thing. Like, you know, it was like, what do I do with that? Like, what do I do with that? It was almost like she didn't care that I was, but she was afraid of what other people were going to say. So it put me in a strange position, because it was almost like she was trying to protect me and stop me from telling other people. And she wanted me to think that just telling her was fine and I didn't tell anybody else. So for a while I thought that was fine. But word was getting around to my mom. And my mom was a scary one. My mom was the one that I waited forever. And it got to the point that she started to sort of know, and it was lingering. And my mom is also very like, you never know what you're gonna get with her. If she's having a good day, good. If she's having a bad day, it's really bad. You should probably not be in the room. You should probably get out of the house. And my mom suffers from depression, chronic depression. My mom divorced my dad when I was like 4. Something happened, like something traumatic must have happened, because my mom, she got really depressed. She cried a lot. It was really, really hard seeing it as kids. She wasn't able to really take care of us as much, so my grandma stepped in to take care of us. My mom was like trying really hard. I could tell. And like, I'm the oldest out of my brother and my sister, so I saw a lot that I probably shouldn't have seen. So I understand like my mom's struggle. My mom and I would argue a lot, and it got to the point where I just like shouted it. I said, I'm gay, and I don't care, and I'm gay. And I slammed the door and I walked out. And that's what I did. When I walked out, I was like, everyone that needs to know knows, and that's it. When I came back, it was really bad. Like, I think that's when my grandma was trying to protect me. It started to get to the point, because my mom has 2 sisters, and we're a big Latin family, so once you tell one person, everyone finds out. My mom, of course, told everybody because she was angry. Like, even aunts that didn't even live in LA. Like, everyone knew. People that weren't going to take it well knew. And, I knew that I was ready for that. I knew that was going to happen. So, of course, I was ready. I wanted to go out, have fun, date. And I did. And I dated. I, of course, had to keep it a secret. Like, I remember I had to get ready. People would ask, where are you going? I had to lie and say I was going with my friend to, like, Starbucks or something. And I was all, like, dressed up. So, and I would tell them to pick me up here. And I would walk over. And, like, it had to be a secret. Because although I told everybody, it didn't mean that I was going to be like, oh, we love you. I knew that was never going to happen. Like, I knew the only people that it would happen with was my brother and sister. And they were like totally fine, but they're young. Like, so like they were living their teenage lives. They weren't worried about mine. So I had to keep it a secret. And I started to date this one particular person, and I was so happy. Like, I was so excited to get out and be with her. I felt like so safe, and I felt like so happy. Oh my God, it's gonna make me want to cry. Like, I felt like this was like what it's supposed to be like. I feel like this is how my life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be this happy. What was I gonna say? I got distracted when I started thinking about that. It started to get to the point where I had to bring my girlfriend then, because she's my wife now. It started to get to the point where I had to bring her around to introduce her to my family. I knew it was going to be hard because I didn't want to just throw her in my family, and I knew that I was upset, and I was like, I wasn't going to get the formal introduction for her that I deserved to give her and that she deserved. When it got a little serious with my girlfriend then, my wife now, I knew I had to bring her around. I didn't want to just hang out with her at bars and restaurants. I wanted to have her come into my house and have her meet my brother and sister and my family, the nice part about me. But that is when it started to get really real for the people that didn't want it to be real and thought it was perhaps a phase. I remember having a party. It was my birthday party, and I had it at in the backyard. It was the first time my girlfriend was coming to meet everybody, and it was like such a big deal. My friends were there. People knew she was coming. Some of my aunts didn't know she was coming. Some of my family didn't know she was coming. My family, I have a huge family. I wasn't gonna call everybody, my girlfriend's coming. I know that you don't like that I'm gay, but she's coming. I'm not gonna do that. My girlfriend walked in, and everyone looked at her. People were looking at her up and down. We were getting whispers and looks and stuff. And there was one aunt who I wanted to introduce my girlfriend to this aunt, because a couple months ago, this aunt came over and was having a conversation with my grandmother and my mom about homosexuals. And she was saying how homosexuals are now everywhere, and everyone has to get used to it, and they have to think of it as normal. So she was pretty much telling my mom and my grandmother that it was normal to be gay. And so obviously I felt sort of like, oh, I can tell this aunt. I was overhearing the conversation they were having. I wasn't in it. I was just like walking by, cleaning or something. I was overhearing. I remember my girlfriend walking in, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to introduce her to my aunt. I ended up walking into the little kitchen by myself, and I saw my aunt there. And I said to her, hey, tia. Tia means aunt in Spanish. So I said to her, hey, tia, I wanted to introduce to you someone that's really special to me. And you know how you were talking about that conversation about homosexuals and blah blah blah. I mentioned something like that to her, and she said, what? I never said that. I don't want to meet your special friend. She like flipped at the party. And then, so she walks out. I'm still speaking. She leaves and starts to tell everybody at the party doesn't know, Grace is gay. Did you know that she's gay? She wants to introduce me to her girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I was like seeing it slow motion. I remember turning my head and like seeing her going to like everybody and then all looking back at me and then giving me faces. It was like slow motion, like, oh my god, what did I do? Like, just, wow, this is never going to end. So, party's over. They left. Didn't even say bye. It was really weird. I ended up moving out of my grandmother's house into my aunt's house. My aunt and I ended up signing a lease together. My aunt, my sister, and I ended up signing a lease together, and we ended up living there together. And my aunt, she didn't know that I was gay, but this is one of my really good aunts, and I always thought, like, she's my father's sister. So when my father was, he wasn't around. My father left when we were kids. So he was like, he came in when he wanted to, like once every 2 years or something. So this was his sister. I think she felt bad, so she wanted to be in our lives for him. So she would like get us clothes and take us out to dinner and always be at every birthday. And me and her would hang out, get our nails done, and we would talk about everything. And we had the best time. And I never once, ever once had the feeling that she like wasn't going to be okay with it. I never once thought that. So when we moved in together, I told her, and she's like, you like girls? And I remember her face, like, she looked like she was so mad. You like girls? And I said, yeah, I like girls. And I started to get a little defensive because I was like, I think I was hurt. So she's like, you like girls, you can't live here. And I said to her, I was like, oh, you think that I'm not going to bring my girlfriend here? She's like, you have a girlfriend? And then she's like, I was like, yeah, but you think I'm not going to bring her in the house? And then she said, no, she's not allowed here. I live here. And she's like, I told her, I live here too. I pay rent. My name's on the lease. Like, why can't I bring her? And she said, I don't want those people in my house. I don't want those people in my house. And I was like, I walked away because I was in shock. I didn't respond. I didn't even think. I couldn't think. So I walked away. I went to the bedroom and I had to think about what just happened. And I couldn't believe it. And I said, what am I going to do? I just signed this lease. I'm living here. I left my old house to be free to come here with my aunt because I thought that she was like this woman who was, like protected me and was like a adult grown up figure in my life, and everything's supposed to be fine, it's supposed to be great. What am I going to do? I just started to sign this lease. So nothing happened for about a month, and then the moment came where I was like, my girlfriend's coming over and I'm going to make dinner and everyone's going to eat at the table because I love cooking. So I was going to cook dinner and everyone's going to eat at the table and she's going to be there. So my girlfriend came in. We all sat at the table. My aunt didn't even say hi to her. She didn't say hi to her. I already had told my girlfriend sort of like heads up, and I remember my girlfriend sat next to me. I got up to serve food, and my aunt passed like a bowl around, I think salad or something, and she skipped her. And she asked everyone really nicely, do you want any? Do you want any? Super nice, and then just skipped her. And it was like, I remember looking at my aunt and I was like, I started to get angry. By this point, I'm going to be very honest, I was angry. By this point, I was angry with anybody that was just going to get in the way of me being happy with my girlfriend. I was angry. So I was ready to jump. Like, as soon as anybody disrespected her, I was ready to get up and just leave or say something or whatever. I was ready to I didn't have a moment anymore. There was no more shock. There was no more moments to go to your bedroom and think about it. There was no more moments to, oh my God, what is happening? Or no more moments of what, step back or what did she say? No, it was I'm done. I've had it. Anybody else says anything, it's not okay. We're going to have an argument. So then about a couple weeks later, it was Halloween. I don't think my aunt was home yet. I think she was still at work. So we all were at the house. We're all in my bedroom. And we were all in our costumes and we were ready to leave. And we didn't know she was already in the living room. I guess she came from work and we were in the bedroom. I didn't know she was home. She was in the living room. And we were all leaving out the door. And we had to pass, leave. We had to walk out to the door. So the door's in the living room. So we were walking out and I said to her bye. And then my girlfriend and my girlfriend's friend are really polite. So they said bye. And then she said, bye, don't come back. I don't want you to come back. And then we walked out and I was like, I'm sorry. I was just, at that point, I bit my tongue, I left. And then, the big one. Then, about a week later, the next time my girlfriend came over, we were watching Jersey Shore. It was my girlfriend and me on my bed watching Jersey Shore, and my sister and her boyfriend on her bed watching Jersey Shore in the same room. We shared the bedroom. And it was like 9 o'clock and my aunt just stormed in and started clapping her face and said, you have to go. It's time for you to go. You go. Flew up off my bed. I said, you're not going to disrespect her like that. I pay rent here too. You're not going to do that. My name's on the lease. She's staying here. I know why you're doing that. It's not fair. It's not right. And she's like, I don't care. And for a second, I thought she was going to spit in her face. Like, my sister got up and she's like, get out of her room. And then she got out. We locked the door and we stayed in the bedroom. My girlfriend slept over. We literally were living in that room. We didn't even leave. We were in our bedrooms. We fell asleep at 5 in the morning. I'm woken up by Bible music. It was music in Spanish, but it was I don't even think it was music. I think it was a sermon or something. It was really loud. And I remember waking up and I could see light from under the door of my bedroom. And I opened the door, and when I opened the door, there was a radio facing our door. I step out. When you leave my bedroom, you go into a hallway, and I stepped into the hallway and I saw the boombox. So I moved the boombox. I moved it and I looked back to see who was in there, and my aunt washing dishes super loud at 5 in the morning. Why do you watch dishes at 5 in the morning? I don't know. She was trying to wake us up clearly. And then she sees me, and I will never forget her eyes. She looked so angry. She ran towards me and punched me in the chest. Starts punching me and punching me and punching me in the chest and just scratching me. I remember hitting the door, my back. I remember hitting. And then I don't even know how my sister woke up and flew off her bed. I just remember she got there in seconds. She flew into the hallway and pushed my aunt out of cause we were going into the bedroom, she was moving me into the bedroom. And I remember my sister flew up off her bed and she pushed my aunt off me, and then we slammed the door and locked it. And then I was shaking. I was like, oh my God. Then I looked at my arms and I was bleeding. The police ended up being called. And then my aunt, I think, thought that the police were going to have her back. I think she thought she was so right. I think she thought they were going to defend her. They came in and they ended up telling her what she was doing was wrong and it was a hate crime. And they were talking, and she looked so angry. And I remember she telling them that she wanted me out. And then the police said, well, is her name on the lease? And I said yes. My aunt said yes. And then they said, you don't have the power to get her out of this house if her name is on the lease. That was that. And then the next morning, I wake up, huge knocks on my door, thumps on my door, someone's trying to just break down the door. And it's my dad. And I haven't seen him or heard of him in years. And my aunt has always defended me against all the things that my dad has done, and she's always understood that my dad wasn't a good person, but she called him, I guess, to intimidate us. And he was pounding on the door and said, you need to get out of this house or I'm going to kick you out. And I was in the bedroom by myself and I didn't answer because I was so scared. We don't agree with your lifestyle here. We don't want you here. I remember him saying that. And the next day I was coming home from work. My sister was in the bedroom by herself and she locks the door. And she calls me crying, saying that my dad is back trying to kick her out and that my dad is yelling and threatening her. So I was walking down the street. I wasn't too far away. I was running down the street trying to get to the house. I get in and he's gone. When I walk in, I see that all of my aunt's things are gone. Like all of her belongings, her furniture, everything's gone. I go in the bedroom, my sister's like shaken up, and that he was yelling these horrible things to her, and that they wanted us out. And I said, come out, look, there's nothing here. They're leaving. The next morning, my father's back trying to scare my sister. I don't know what his point is, but I could hear him through the phone, and she's calling me. He tells my sister, like, he tells her these horrible, mean things that she's never going to forget. And they take that last piece of furniture and they leave. And then the landlord calls us that she's not on the lease anymore, and that it's our responsibility. Now we live there. Now it's my sister and me, and we're living there, and we're happy. And then the lease is up for that place. So we move into one of my grandmother's properties, and we like begged her. I'm like, can we please move here? Like, you know, we'll take care of the place. We'll pay your rent like everybody else does. And we paid her rent, and we moved in, and my girlfriend moved in. So at that point, my girlfriend, me, my sister, and her boyfriend move into my grandmother's house. We're thinking it's going to be the best thing ever. So then, my aunt comes over. And this is my mom's sister. She comes over the new place, and we had this piece of artwork. Actually, I'm going to show it to you. So she sees this painting, and she grabs it, and she breaks it and throws it in the trash. That's it. It was hard, but we ended up moving. So my girlfriend and I moved again. We moved a lot. We moved from my grandmother's house because we realized that we have to get a place that's far away from them, and it was just her and I. Her and I, by that point, we had been together for about 3 years. So her and I were living together in a nice little place, made it our home, and we filled it up with a bunch of beautiful things. And we were there for 2 years, and just her and I. And that's when we actually got to like really enjoy our relationship and be together. And then we moved to this place 2 years ago. So yes, my girlfriend then, which is my wife now, we've been together for 6 years, and we just got married 2 months ago. It's one of our engagement pictures. I don't know if you can see it. And our wedding was amazing. It was beautiful. My grandma was at my wedding. She came around, I'd say like 2 years ago. Caitlin and her always get along, and she loves Caitlin. Like, she went to Mexico, and I was speaking to her on the phone. She's like, how's Caitlin doing? How's my sweet Caitlin doing? So like, my mom, not so much. I really wanted my mom to be there, and the funny thing is my mom seemed like she was coming around too, to the point that my mom actually got a dress for the wedding, and she went to the rehearsal. She was very quiet, but she was there, and I was so happy that she was willing to be at the wedding and sit down. We had a seat reserved for her and everything, and she showed up to the wedding. When I walked down the aisle, she saw me, and then about 2 minutes later, she just got up and she left. I haven't really spoken to anybody about it because I only got married 2 months ago, but my mom was not at my wedding. But it's okay. It really is okay, because like I said, everything happens for a reason. And yes, I don't have a very supportive family myself on my side, but Caitlin's family is like the complete opposite. And everything happens for a reason, because I don't have my family. Isn't that nuts that like I don't have much of a supportive family because I'm gay, but Caitlin's family is incredibly supportive, and now we're married and they're my family, so it's like the family that I didn't have, I have now. I couldn't ask for anything more, and I feel lucky and so blessed. I was sharing with my wife how sometimes it's hard. I don't have a dad in my life, and I don't have a mom, because since my wedding, I haven't spoken to my mother because it's so hard to even look at her. But my mom is there. I know that she's sick and she has her struggle. My father is not there. And I don't have a huge family on my side. So I share with Caitlin sometimes that I feel a little lonely. And she told me, why don't you go on YouTube and why don't you share? Why don't you share with the world your struggle? Because there's people out there that probably probably feel the way you do, and you guys can help each other. And I thought she was a genius, and I was like, oh my god, my wife is so smart. But like, I think I'm gonna do it. In the beginning, I was kind of scared, because you're obviously opening your whole life to YouTube and like thousands of people that can just like love you or hate you. It's not really, there's not really anything in the middle. It's just love or hate you. So I was a little scared, but then I thought like everything I've been through in life, I can handle some comments because those are inevitable. But the bottom line is the fact that I'm out there sharing my story, and I hope and believe, I believe that there's other people out there that are going through what I went through, and they will share their story with me. I love knowing that there's people out there like me, because in my little circle right now, I don't know anybody like me. Can you guys believe that I actually finished this? Like, this is done now. And let me show you, look, let me show you these little, see, asleep. Now they're asleep. I started filming this when there was sun outside, like bright sun, and now it's dark. I know that I rambled a lot, and I know that some of you are probably like, who is this crazy girl? And some of you are probably thinking like, or I hope some of you are thinking like, oh my god, we have the same story, because I love that. Thank you so much for listening to my story and devoting your time. I know that I rambled a lot, and I'm so sorry. I will work on it, I promise. I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you felt like I did at any point and you felt like it doesn't get better, it gets better. I promise it gets better. 2 months ago, I got married, and I'm living here, and I'm so happy with my crazy dogs and my cat. And I'm just a very happy girl, and I'm very lucky and fortunate that I have a beautiful wife that inspired me to make this video. So I promise you it's gonna get better. Be patient, be strong. I know that it will get better. And I have this beautiful card that I just found. Everything happens for a reason. I just saw this. So I wanted to share this as, you are loved, and you are loved. And I love you, and thank you so much, and can't wait for the next video. Promise I will work on my rambling. Time for me to put the camera down.